Welcome everybody to another episode of the Checked In Podcast. Got Michael and Zach here with special guest Pat. Let's get right into it.
Enter the rapture. And if ain't nobody flying up to heaven right now, obviously all y'all motherfuckers going to hell. Right with me. So let's get it. Oh, you already here. I'm so sorry. You can't get out. You're stuck. It's over. You heard the song a billion times and you didn't even know. That's up.
What? Yeah, that's a little sketchy.
Yeah,
I see why people were saying what they were saying.
Yeah, so I was looking into it a little bit, and the symbolism behind the concert and like everything from start to finish was very demonic, very just like evil. So like when you enter the concert, the mouth you enter, there's symbolism dating back into like the 1700s where there was this demonic monster or something that they symbolize as that basically like people would go into this monster's mouth and it was like them giving up their free will, their spirituality, their like love, like all of that, basically turning evil, right? For whatever reason, whether it's satanic or whatever. There was that symbolism with just entering the concert. And then there was the symbolism of people walking through a door and they're like blue people, good people. And then they walk through the door. And then on the other end of the door, they're red, flaming, evil people. There's the symbolism of the phoenix, the bird on fire, that symbolism to Lucifer, Satan, evil. And then there was another one with just the frequency that was being played at the concert, along with the 808s, which we all know is like, you know, it tends to the lowest chakra, the lowest vibration. But the frequency they were playing was like trance-like. So I forgot what the actual frequency was, but the frequency that was used is actually used in like, it's the same frequency to like train animals, dogs, and people. Obviously, human beings are animals susceptible to the same thing. And they were doing that same thing. Kanye talked about it in his interview, how the music industry does that. And they basically try to take you away from the good and only talk about the bad, the evil, the violence, all of that. And that's basically the whole concert was that. And I mean, the end result was pretty obvious after that.
Yeah, did you think about like the music that came out when like the whole psychedelic era came, and after that it was all about love, togetherness, all that shit. Then they make psychedelics illegal. They say no. They take back all the stuff from the music industry. Exactly. And now it's just like Xans, pussy, money. That's where it's at. And it's just like
exactly.
Yeah.
There was I saw an interview with a pretty prominent musician back in the late 80s, I think, late 80s, early 90s. And he was saying how they basically, the music industry as a whole, game planned that rap was going to be this negative thing, talking about violence, girls, sex, killing, drugs, all of this stuff, because the music was so catchy. I mean, the hip hop derived from just like the beat itself. There was never any like words over it. It derives from like the old African like drums and all of that. And they were just like, we're gonna make this, put this on a computer, and we're going to rap about pussy, money, weed. And it hasn't stopped since, and it's only gotten worse since then.
Yeah, I've noticed too, like rock and roll, like, you know, watching the old movies, there would be like or like even old TV shows or whatever, or just talking to some older people, like during the punk era, like when garage bands were starting up and all this other stuff, like a lot of people like, oh, that's the devil's music, it's not, you know, whatever. And then it's kind of like I noticed like rock and rap almost go hand in hand, and then you have like the full out metal bands that are like extremely demonic, and like stuff like Korn and like, you know, other stuff like that too. So I mean, like I could kind of see like how like rap is the new rock to me. Like nobody wants to be a rock star anymore. They just want to be a rapper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know
no,
what I
it's
mean?
definitely
Like
yeah.
everybody's starting up their own rap group or they're, starting to be a rapper. And like back, maybe 20, 25, 30 years ago, everybody was trying to be like a rock star, starting up their own rock band and like whatever. So I mean, like probably even before that too. I mean, so it's just like the thing that you see Ozzy Osbourne and like all those other people and like Marilyn Mason and all that stuff. So it's like, it's kind of like starting to change. Like rock was like the pop culture music back then, and like now rap is like the pop culture music. So it's like this change. The culture changed like I don't know sonically to rap, and like now it's like this huge, you know, thing, and they made it into like this big brand of a genre, and it's just like it's almost like the same thing was being passed over, but it's just like now it's even more like in our faces because now we have screens. Now we have, everything's being covered on the TV pretty much almost every even even like Good Morning America that was never talking about rappers. So like, maybe 5-10 years ago. And it just became this like, so they're definitely pushing it, in every form of media you can think of, like more than rock now. Rock doesn't even have crazy huge festival concerts like this anymore, where it's just like the thing to do, the thing to go to. Like younger people are getting driven more towards rap and all this other stuff, and like more music videos, more of this, more of that. And it's just like, I mean, to me, it's like almost the same thing, just shifted now to a different area.
And think
of, like,
about how
music.
rap is now compared to like how it used to be, how much worse it is
Yeah,
now. Like
yeah,
even just technically, most of these guys aren't even as good. But like if they're pushing
no,
it too, it's like, well, if that's the one that's getting pushed, that's probably the one that's the most corrupted. Like Mike was saying, like they obviously went in there and had a plan. Like it used to be like, well, like think about like Run DMC. They weren't talking about killing people, and they were like the #1 rap group in the 80s.
yeah,
Not, like that
yeah,
didn't have to happen. And then all of a sudden it turned into that. And now that's the thing that everyone pushes. Like it's obvious. If
oh
it's
yeah,
being pushed by the media, you want to look at it twice and be like, what do they want me to do here? Like, where's the energy level?
yeah,
Exactly. Honestly,
yeah,
yeah. When I was looking into it, like, I mean, if you even think about, like you said, back in the day when LSD was like the thing, and it was like the hippie era, Woodstock, all of that. It wasn't really about killing. It was just about having a good time, loving one another, and all of that. And now it's literally all just like rapping, taking drugs, killing people, like gang violence, all of that. And I mean, in Astroworld, like that's basically what it was. Like, I mean, Travis Scott's notorious in his concerts. He had a concert. I don't know if it was another Astroworld or if it was just another concert in general, but he actually, there was a time when someone like grabbed his shoe or something, and he told the crowd to beat up this 17-year-old kid. So like the whole mosh pit just beat down this 17-year-old kid. Like he's been doing this for a very long time.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've
it's
seen he had like some
insane.
charges against him before, like for having people like rush and like endangering children and like all this other stuff, because he was having people like rush the pit like right under the stage. And like he was like, no, security, let them through. It's cool, let them through. And like they were just like hauling ass towards the stage, and like you could see people just their heads just dropping like in the footage that
Damn.
I've seen. I was just like, dude, that's crazy. But yeah, if you look at the concert, like how tight packed it was, like I don't think there's really any way you could. I mean, you're like one person looking at like 50 or 60,000 people that was there.
Right.
You're not gonna be able to be like, I mean, I remember watching like Michael Jackson concerts on TV, right? And like they'd show like the girls falling out, this girl falling out, that girl falling out, or even like a Chris Brown concert. Like I was at a Chris Brown concert and seeing like 15 girls faint right in front of me. You know what I mean? Like at Darien Lake. So it's just like, I mean, like it's like maybe they're like used to people fainting. So maybe he was like used to it, And like maybe that was like, I don't know.
He's not on
Maybe that's
the level of fucking Michael Jackson and
Not at all.
nah. I mean, he's
not
not
at all.
influenced. Nah, he's not on that level. But I mean, he definitely holds weight.
I'm
like,
sure he's seen people pass out, you know, sure.
No,
at his
I
concerts.
wanna,
Yeah. He's like super fans, I believe. So
I want to
mean-
let you guys know though, just being in Texas, right? It's on the news all over the place. This venue that Astroworld was in, I think they said that the concert was packed like 50,000 people, right? The venue cannot hold. It's never, ever been allowed to hold 50,000 people. They oversold tickets purposely.
wow.
They oversold it. Like, I think the venue capacity was like 30, 40. So close. But they packed in a decent
That's
amount.
a lot though.
Like
that's 10,000 to 20,000 more people that was supposed to be, and that's like way over. Yeah.
Basically, what they do in this venue is they have, first of all, they put the gate close. They put the gate close, or the fence closer to the stage, so they made a little more room there. But typically, the venue is made to have people further from the stage for artist safety, and then they have the lawn area. But there were people like packing back to the entrance. There were people like off to the side, sitting on fences, like they packed this thing in. And then on top of it, there were like you said, like the people that were dying, 8 people died at this concert. And there was a security guard, I believe, who passed out during this concert.
Wow.
And when a medic got to him, he didn't pass out he was in the back. He got pricked in the back of the neck. Yeah. So they were pricking people in the back of the neck. So this guy, he didn't get CPR. He had to get injected with something else to start his heart back up because he was pricked in the back of the neck. They didn't know at the time. They were just like, nothing's working on this guy. We got to do something. And then when he came back to,
pricked with what?
I don't know. They said that it was, I didn't see the exact thing. They said probably like some like methamphetamine or something. But the guy came to and said, yeah, I felt a prick on the back of my neck. And then everything from there is a blur. And there are videos of people getting trampled that are passing out. You couldn't get out. Like if you were in the front, you couldn't get out. There were people dying. There was a video that I saw online. This girl, she passed out or died, whatever. And they had to basically have her corpse crowd surf to the back. They the crowd picked her up, brought her to the back, and this girl just got dropped on her head when she was at the end of the crowd. Like, so she rode the crowd all the way through, and then as soon as she got to the end of the crowd, the paramedics tried to grab her, couldn't grab her. She literally fell from a normal human height, or normal person's height, like 5'5". Oh, Pat Evans. Oh, there you are. But yeah, so she dropped from a normal person's height, like we'll say 5'5", 5'8", 6 foot, whatever, to her head on the cement ground.
You're saying she was alive at the beginning and that's how she died?
She either passed out but was still alive, or she was dead. But when she got to the back of the line of the paramedics, she was dropped on from head. 6 feet up to her head on the concrete. Like, you heard the noise of her skull hitting the cement. And there was like Kylie Jenner, because obviously people were getting taken out in ambulances left and right. Kylie Jenner took a video of one of these ambulances trying to leave the venue, and there were just a bunch of crazy fans jumping on the ambulance, dancing on it, like rocking it back and forth. Like,
think about that whole like mindset. That is like demonic. It's like, fuck these dead people. We're just gonna destroy everything. Like, where's the love? Like, that's exactly what they're trying to push, and that's what's happening. Like, it's
exactly.
Yeah, it's like no compassion showed or nothing. Like, that's nuts. Like, how can you I don't know. I couldn't. Like, if I was in there, I'd have been like, yo, like, what are you guys doing? Back up. Something. I would have tried to, stuck up for somebody that couldn't
like, there's
defend
people
themselves
dying
or
here.
nothing.
Like, what the fuck, guys? Chill the fuck out.
I mean, there was like a group of people that were like saying, stop this show. And then it was like in between his songs. And then he just blasted music and you just heard distorted speakers. And like, you couldn't, like, I don't know.
There was one person that Travis Scott, he saw them passed out, and he said, there's somebody passed out right there, get him out of here. And when they were being dragged out, he's like still like singing some like synth over auto tune. Like, it was a creepy scene. Like, the entire, like, he was like, this person was getting dragged out, passed out, blacked out, whatever. And he's just sitting there on the top of the podium, just like, And I'm just like, what the fuck
Yeah,
is
that's
this?
that sounds kind of. I seen that video. That one sounded kind of like ritual. I don't know if it was tuning back in or that was just like some,
I don't know. But then
you
Or
know,
maybe
some like
it brings you back to the Kanye interview, because Kanye is talking about how all this music right now is basically being used to, like, what's it called, like, teach and train the younger generation to think this way
subconsciously.
subconsciously.
yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
He was talking about how the entire rap game right now is basically lean, drugs, violence. And I mean, if you're hearing this shit from like a young age, like 8, 9, 10, this is what you're going to be trying. You idolize these people. So like if you
yeah,
see somebody drinking lean, if you hear somebody rapping about killing somebody for money, part of a gang, whatever,
yeah,
like you're gonna be like, oh, that's cool. In reality,
yeah,
it's fucked.
yeah. And like popping pills, I'm pretty sure like some of those deaths had to be like a drug overdose of some sort. Like you know what I mean? Like I understand like you're in a crowd and could be like everything's possible. I'm saying like, you know, like I don't think directly it was a result, you know, maybe of it could have been of, you know, the aggression in the crowd, but I'm pretty sure maybe some of them will come out to be like, yeah, you know, somebody overdosed or like, you know, somebody was off, or maybe they were just too fucked up. Because I know, like, when I was at concerts, I'm looking around and somebody like cross-eyed, like, oh, music. You know what I mean? Like, just
Yeah,
out
true.
of it, but they're just like still enjoying the music. You know what I mean? So it's just like, and most people, they're like high when they're at home listening to this shit. You know what I mean? When they're at home listening to like whatever, like I used to be, you know, in parties and shit like that. I'd be drunk out of my mind, like having a good time, going crazy, you know, whatever, with a whole
Yeah,
bunch of
we
other people. I like, you know what I
used.
mean? Like I remember one time the floor was like we were
Yeah.
jumping so hard on this house party. The floor was like a trampoline, like we thought the floor was gonna break. And that's when I was like, nah, I grabbed onto the wall, bro. Like I didn't know what I was holding on to. I was just like, no, like, no, I'm not falling if this floor caves in, I'm not falling. I remember like getting in a doorway because I'm like, at least a doorway, there's like structure. You know, I was like trying to think my way out of that situation. But yeah, the floor, you can literally hear the floor go boom, boom. And like, yeah, so I mean, like, imagine that. And that was like probably like 300 people in one room. So imagine that times whatever to 50,000, 60,000 people, you know, I could see how it could go either way or a mixture of both, where it's just like, okay, we're all a little, you know, fucked up, you know, we're all a little fucked up and we're or really fucked up. And then we're all just doing whatever. And then on top of that, you got like these, maybe these demonic transfers of like, you know, music or frequency that's like also influencing people and whatever else is there. Like, I don't know, they could have been like demons just in the crowd doing their, you know, justice or whatever. Like it could have been like, you know what I mean? So like it could have got, I could see just from my regular experiences in life, like how that situation could have got way out of hand. And then, like I said, like you're Travis Scott on the stage, you're like, well, people pass out at my shows before, you know what I mean? Like maybe it's just whatever. And then maybe you're also just like, okay, or maybe like he's like Cardi B at that award show where she just like stops and she's just like, and then they resume or whatever. Like some, I don't know, maybe he was like in his own trance and like he couldn't decipher what was really going on in the first place. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I don't know. You got, I don't know. Those are like different ways to think about it,
Yeah,
I
that's
guess.
true. Because they've been the narrative is that he's a piece of shit, and you know he saw these people dying, and he didn't care, and all this stuff. But you always got to question the narrative too. It's like, wait a second, if that's what they're saying, maybe you know, like what you're saying, maybe he just was like, oh, someone passed out. I didn't really know people were dying and shit. Like, you know, you never really know, especially when they're pushing one thing. It's like, is that really what happened though?
Yeah,
No, yeah, that's a
yeah.
hundred. That's 100% right. I mean, you never know, because, like we've said in past episodes, when the narrative is one thing, you can't really trust that.
Oh, so you want to trust him
No.
less?
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. So it's like maybe he's good after all. But yeah, I mean the concert, bro, that was a shit show altogether. But I mean, after seeing the Kanye interview, it kind of like, it was crazy timing, because we like the Kanye interview came out talking all about the secrets or the bullshit in the music industry. And then like 2 days later, this concert happens and it's absolute chaos.
That's
Absolute
exactly
chaos.
what he's talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's
And
like
he mentioned Travis Scott in the interview.
yes,
But like he didn't mention him in that way, but he was just like, yeah, you know, Travis, that's my boy, and blah blah blah. And he kind of went about like how, you know, he was like compared to Kanye, you know, compared himself and how he's seen like a little bit of him.
Oh,
And like
I think he did
Travis.
he did Travis Scott versus Kid Cudi, and he picked Kid Cudi. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
But
like,
then
my
again,
boy.
there's like also like Kid Cudi's also like, I mean, we know Kanye, he's like came out the dark. He's blatantly, openly said like, yeah, I used to worship and serve the devil. Like, you know, at a point in my life, I was really low. And then like, you know, there's that. And then there's like Kid Cudi.
With
I
the
believe
dress.
it was, yeah, with the dress. I was gonna say, I believe it wasn't even that long ago. And he's like, yeah, you know, I'm tributing Kurt Cobain, but it's just like, bro, we all know that ritual. Like it's been exposed.
Right.
Like a bunch of people has talked about it already, like throughout the years. And you know, that could have been some underlining too, demonic underlining too, about, you know, how it is. And then like he's like, yeah, well, Travis is just me and Kid Cudi anyways. You know what I mean? So it's just
Yeah.
like, imagine that. And then like, dude, out of nowhere, last year, the beginning of this year too, Travis Scott's all over everything. The PS5, McDonald's,
McDonald's, yeah.
Fortnite. He's all over. Yeah, I mean, so it's just like it looks like he's
all the bullshit they're trying to push. Travis Scott is plastered on.
Yeah, literally Fortnite. Okay, let's get these kids to whatever with Fortnite. You know, distract themselves. Get, you know, whatever. Even grown people, like let's get everybody we can distracted by Fortnite, and then boom, let's feed them a bunch of bullshit, and then boom, let's even distract them more with another gaming system. You know, and you can play Fortnite on this shit too, and let's just keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. And it's just like, bro, that at this point, and then not only that, all the fashion collabs is done. Like it's just like at this point, like I don't know who else has had that good of a year marketing themselves without it ever being not tied to something demonic.
Yeah.
You know
It's like
I
this
mean?
guy's
Like,
got to be a puppet. He's a puppet. I mean,
yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. You're appearing in the biggest fast food industry in the world, and you're in or the biggest fast food restaurant in the world in the fast food industry, and then you're on like the biggest gaming system ever. You know what I mean? And then at the time, the biggest, you know, multiplayer game in you know, most trending or whatever multiplayer game, all in the same year. Like during the year that the world is fucked up. You know what I mean? So it's just like,
exactly.
there's
When shit is
no
the worst
way.
ever.
No way. That's what I'm saying. There's
Yeah.
no way this like
the dots are just so easily being connected with all this shit.
Yeah.
It's fucking bananas. But
Yeah.
it doesn't bro, it's like everything ties in and it's right in your face, but no one's willing to actually look at it, and it's insane.
Yeah, it's insane.
But I think a lot
All
of
right,
people
guys.
are looking at it, to be honest. I think there's I think the kids might not quite get it, but people like a little bit older are seeing this shit and they're like, yo.
Yeah.
It's our job to talk to the fucking kids, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the kids, I think they're like still think he's cool. I don't think they really know. I mean, maybe like the younger, you know, adults, you know, maybe like teenagers, preteens, they probably might be able to piece something together here, you know, understand a little bit better. But like the younger kids are just like, oh, Travis Scott,
Right.
The superhero, you know what I mean? So yeah, I just want to say thank you everybody for staying checked in. Continue to stay checked in. Thank you for all our subscribers. We appreciate you. All our followers, we appreciate you. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you want to see next in the comments, and also let us know what you think about what happened at this concert. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media at the Checked In Podcast. Look us up on Spotify, Twitch, YouTube, the Checked In Podcast. And yeah, thanks. You guys have officially been checked in.